Hello, everyone. Welcome to Cale Connects. This is the first episode of our new podcast. Thanks for joining us. I hope you're going to find it of interest and a bit of fun along the way. I'm going to be talking to friends and business associates week in, week out, finding more about their businesses, what makes them tick, and hopefully have a bit of fun along the way. Today, I'm joined by the wonderful Alison Matthias, Alison's business, Alison Wonderland Photography. How are you, Alison? You okay?
Yes, I'm really good, thank you.
Thanks for joining us. Alison, tell everyone about what you do.
My business is Alison Wonderland Photography, but I'm a photographer and a digital artist. For those that don't know what that means, from the photography side, I do all of the things people would expect. I love portraits, I love photographing children, I do some weddings still, and a bit of business photography. But I've got a background in fine art, and so it always made sense for me to bring a little bit of artistry into my work. So I'm also a digital artist, which means that I paint digitally on a Wacom tablet. I specialise in composite work in Photoshop. For instance, with the one behind me, this little girl, I just photographed her sitting on a tree stump in a field, and then I magicked her in Photoshop and made her into a fairy. I can do all wizards, witches, magical things, superheroes. I can put somebody in a scene from their favourite film, maybe just something conceptual, maybe from a favourite poem, anything. Basically, I say to people, if you can think it, I can do it. I've just been asked to make somebody into a goth tattooist, which I've never been asked before. So that's going to be a fun challenge, yeah.
And I always get from you that you enjoy doing these things as well. When someone comes to you with a challenge like that, that's where you thrive.
I love it. I've got an archive of thousands and thousands of images that I can use as stock to add into images, like the fairy wings, the flower crowns, plants, candles, magical books, you name it, literally terabytes worth. And I sometimes buy those online. I create those stock images myself sometimes just by photographing things with my phone when I'm out and about in old vintage fairs and antique shops, or just anywhere randomly. I'll see a flower and I think, oh, that could be good in a photo somewhere, and I'll photograph it as I go. Collect skies. I've got way more sky photos on my system than anybody needs in a lifetime. Sometimes nowadays I use AI as well, just to create the extra little bits to add in. If I want particularly shimmery, iridescent fairy wings that look like dragonfly wings, I might render them in an AI program and then Photoshop them so that they're how I want them to be, and then import them in and composite them into the image that I'm working on.
Okay, so you mentioned AI. What's AI doing for your business right now? Because there's lots of businesses out there that have said AI is going to take over our jobs or replace some of the work that we do. I would imagine there are AI bits of software out there that can create, if you turn around and say, give me a sunset on the west coast of Australia with this building in the background, it could go and create it, couldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that there's a lot of fear out there at the moment. We could do 2 hours just
Absolutely.
on AI.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
a big
absolutely.
subject. It's a subject that I actually love discussing, so that might be worth another podcast another
Yeah.
day. It's something I'm embracing in the same way that you should embrace a dog that you don't know. You ask the owner and you pat it with care, because you just don't know if it's going to turn around and bite you. I am fascinated by it.
Yeah.
We can't put it back in the box. And so I believe that through history, I've seen many businesses come and go over the years because they've not kept up with the times. But some really big businesses that I'm sure lots of people will know the names of haven't kept up with the times, and they just go out of business because they haven't embraced change. Even if we don't like something that's happening in the technological world, it's important that we learn about it. Often the fear comes from lack of understanding
Yeah.
and worrying that it's going to, the taking of our jobs. It's just lack of understanding. And I think that those businesses that it's going to impact, maybe, photography, artistry, graphic design, copywriting, a lot of the creative industries, the ones that are going to lead the forefront of the future are the ones that are embracing it and learning it and working alongside it.
Yes.
Owning it, rather than feeling it's a threat and just panicking and being blinkered to it. Is it ever going to replace? It might for some clients that just want a quick fix, something cheap. There are already thousands of people selling completely AI rendered art or books for children. But there's
Has it
always
done
going to
it?
be that market that want the authenticity, and maybe those businesses,
Of
what they've
course.
done is just used AI for the conceptual ideas, and then you build on it yourself. I see it as no different than somebody who was a cake maker professionally. Instead of doing everything by hand, buying an electric mixer, or a carpenter buying an
Yes, for
electric
sure.
drill. It should be something to just facilitate your work and inspire you and help you along the path rather than making it do it all for you.
So is there anything in your business that you've introduced AI and gone, wow, this has absolutely changed the way I do things or changed my business? Is there something that's just been a wow moment for you?
I wouldn't say a wow moment. I was actually a beta tester for Midjourney before it was launched. So I've been using AI from an experimental and fun kind of
Yeah.
way for quite a few years now. And DALL-E too. For those people that don't know, Midjourney and DALL-E are just two AI imagery
Yeah.
platforms. No wow moments for me, apart from the fact that they're getting cleverer. They're still not perfect. You can still take a photo. It's even built into Adobe now. So if I'm in
Right.
Photoshop, say I've done a photo shoot for a business and say it's a pot of olives, I've got some olive oil and some olives on the table, and actually I think, oh, the photo shoot's gone now, the moment's passed. I wished I'd just put an olive there because aesthetically it would have been better. I can actually circle a little area and then go, olive. It can put it in, but it might take several renders to get that right.
Yeah.
And it might be that I actually then go, do you know what, I might just get a little bit of olive oil and an olive at home and photograph it and place it in myself because it's better than what was rendered for me. I'm very particular about what I'll use. Even if I have something rendered, I can then often just Photoshop it so that it's right and it looks realistic.
It
With
still has some
some
limitations,
things,
doesn't it?
but what's really interesting is that there are also platforms where you can put in an image and it will tell you at what percentage it believes that image is AI rendered or not.
Wow.
And I've tested them all, and none of them are that accurate. So
Oh,
even
okay.
AI can't tell sometimes now whether AI is AI. We're
Oh,
going down the
I,
rabbit hole
I
now.
bet I bet the school kids out there are hoping to submit some AI produced work. I hope that's the case as well. Good. All right. I think maybe we do AI another day.
That's
But
a big subject.
absolutely, you've recently had a big move in your life, big change in your life. We've known each other for a long time, but you've moved to South Wales. A big move for you, your family, and for the business
Huge
actually. And I know
move.
a challenge for the business. Tell us about that. What's been going on?
Yeah, so we've always, we were actually in Pembrokeshire, so we're over in southwest Wales, almost as far west as you can get. And it's a very happy move. It's a move we wanted and planned for. And when I say we, I'm talking about my husband and I and our dog and two cats. We've left our children behind in Sussex because they've got their own lives now. They're in their 20s and happy and settled, and they've got lovely partners. That was the biggest thing, really, leaving our kids and our friends and our
Sure.
network
Yeah.
behind, because I've been networking in the Sussex area for 20 years now. So that was hard because it now feels like I'm just starting from scratch. It was a happy move. We love the area. My husband's from South Wales anyway, and we've been backwards and forwards to Pembrokeshire 2 or 3 times a year for the last 27 years that we've been together. We just love it here. It's like my soul home. It's very bohemian. There's a lovely outdoors feel to it, and it's not as busy as Cornwall. It's just gorgeous here. We love it. It's a whole way of
Good. So
life.
you and the family and the cats and the dogs, you all agreed that you were going to move to Wales. It was going to be a move, but there's a big factor in all of that, in that you're moving your business. And your
Yeah.
business has been built off the back of networking. You've done art and photos for lots of people. So you've just up sticks and taken that all with you. Now that's got to come with some new challenges.
Oh, yes. And if I'm honest, I didn't think it would be as difficult as it is. I don't know any other way, really. I'm always honest. I've got nothing to hide. Where I am lucky is that I've got two sides to my business. I've got my remote services, my digital artwork, the actual paintings, the restoration work that I can do with digital images as well, and healing real photos, a digital version of a real photo. I don't have to do the photography for the kind of image I've got behind me. If somebody wants a fairy image, a superhero image, or whatever image they want, I can help them getting the source photos. They can even do it with their phones. Send me an image and I can magic it in the background. The only photography I have to do, myself is if somebody wants me to do a portrait session or a wedding, and
Sure.
I'm building up my network for my in-person photography. I've joined a networking group again, and I've also bought the domain name West Wales Fairy Photography. It's the same as my Wonderland Enchantographs page. The Enchantographs is the word I use for my magical imagery. I coined that phrase, it doesn't exist, so I was thinking of copywriting Enchantographs, because they're enchanted photographs. I bought the term West Wales Fairy Photography so that locally, in all the local groups, I've got West Wales in the title, and they like local, you know, it makes me sound a bit more Walesy.
Fantastic. Bit of a challenge, but there's certainly parts that you can carry on doing. And as you were just saying, so someone, if I wanted a fairy sitting on a lake like that, I could send you a picture from my phone and that would be good enough for you, would it?
Absolutely. If it's a picture that doesn't already exist, then what I'd say is if you want something specific, like a little fairy sitting on a tree branch, or a little mushroom, or a little girl, you know, that wants to be holding a fairy, I'd then guide you to getting the right angle, perhaps put a fairy costume on, but no wings. I like to put the wings on myself, that kind of thing. I've got a whole email thing that I would send out to clients to help them get the right photos, and they'd just send me a few and I'd pick the one that works best.
That's good. Well, I'm pleased to hear that the move's gone well, and I'm sure business will pick up.
We're very happy. It's been 6 months now and we're loving it here. We're struggling to get out of holiday mode and just get down to business.
Good. All right. When I was putting the thought of these podcasts together, I thought that it can't all be business. It can't all be serious. So I've got 3 random questions for you now. Out of all the flavours of crisps in the world, what would be your choice?
There is only one proper answer to that: cheese and onion.
Oh, and will we go as far as saying a brand of the cheese and onion? Well, or does it not matter?
I love generally. Well, you know, I'm a foodie. I do like the McCoy's Ridged cheese and onion. I like all crisps, and I've just bought myself a packet yesterday, Thai green curry crisps, which I've never had before. So I do like trying the special edition ones that come out. But if I'm on a desert island and I can only take one stock of crisps with me, it's going to be ridged, it's going to be cheese and onion, and I do like them on a sandwich with ham and butter.
Well, there you go. A little bit more information than I was hoping for, but I love that. That's gold. Alison Matthias loves crisp sandwiches. Happy days. Yeah. All right, so on sandwiches then, if you're having a sausage sandwich. Now, see, I remember this from growing up. I used to, when I started getting into football and things, started listening to 5 Live, and they had a feature on there, which was red sauce, brown sauce, or no sauce at all on your sausage sandwich.
Always brown.
Sausage, always brown. All right, let's flip it. Brown. If you were to go for bacon, would that change the sauce?
No, because, well, there's a thing here. So with bacon, I either just like bread and butter, so you can taste the butter melting into the bacon.
Absolutely.
Love that. But my youngest brother told me this, and it's amazing. The bacon's got to be quite crispy, a little bit brown in parts. Perfect. Mayo on one side of the bread, butter, and get this, sweet chili jam.
Oh,
it's so good, so good.
Yes, I have to say, a bit of sweet chili jam on a cheese cracker is very nice. So, love that. Okay,
try it on your bacon sandwich, but you've got to have the mayo on the other side of the bread.
No, about that.
Very good.
If you could have 3 people to come round for dinner, dead or alive. I mean, they'd have to be alive at your dinner table, obviously. If you were to have 3 people that you'd like to invite round for dinner, who would that be?
Off the top of my head, right now, I would go for, apart from my family who I miss dearly, David Attenborough, Bill Bailey, the comedian, and Professor Brian Cox would be my 3, because I think we'd never get bored of the conversation, and I think as a dynamic the 3 of them would work well together, and I think we'd also have a laugh, and it would be really interesting.
Every chance of a glass of red wine or 2, I'd imagine.
Yeah, it goes without saying.
Good. So, Alison, we'll start wrapping up. What's next for you in the business? What's your next year hold for you?
Thank you. Well, for me, the exciting thing that I am doing here, and we're just getting all the quotes in. In fact, we've got the quotes. We're just about to the left of me here is a lovely magical door. Beyond that door is going to be my new studio. So I am having a studio converted, because this is one of our garages here. I'm going to have a studio in there, this is going to remain my office, and I'm going to have a lovely room behind me that's going to be a toilet, a shower, a changing room for my clients. So I'm going to have a whole little client wing to the house, and it's going to be amazing. The rooms are already there. We're just going to convert them. For me, that's the next big thing. I've got a mobile studio at the moment, but I'm going to have a static studio here so people can come and visit me, and I can have mini sessions at the house on days where the weather might not be good enough to get out, and we can have studio sessions here. I'm really excited about that. It's going to be amazing.
Make sure you get pictures of that out on your social media. You
Oh,
can
I will.
show people what it is
Thank
you're
you.
doing.
I am
Good.
upping my social media as well. I've always got you on my shoulder going, social media, get out, make noise, make noise, make noise. So I am trying really hard at the moment.
It's not always easy for business owners to be thinking about marketing themselves because they're engrossed in what they're doing. But I think showing people your journey, showing them what you're going through, especially now because you have a new audience in Wales, I think it's important to do that. Thank you so much for coming on. It's been good fun. And come and join us again in a couple of months and we'll find out a bit more about the journey along the way.
Lovely. Thank you so much for having me. It's been really good fun. It's always lovely to see you.
You're very welcome. So guys, please like and subscribe to my channel. I never thought there'd be a day where I'll be saying that. If you could share the post, that would be great. But hopefully you've enjoyed the little chat that me and Alison have had. If you want to jump on a call and tell us a little bit more about what you're doing, I'd love to hear from you. But for now, thanks very much for joining, and see you all again soon.